Fear. You are so connected to your belief that you are the body, that you keep carrying these imprinted genes along with you, lifetime after lifetime, through centuries, perhaps even eons. The dead have been burned and buried. Because you won't leave your bodies at death. You continue to fear death and being buried alive or burned alive. When are you going to leave the body at death and stop this repetition? Get off the merry-go-round and start living a new expression of you. You've got a whole bunch of things in your genes that are related to fear. You see, there again, the more you know and understand about the whole process of your planet and your physicality, the less fear you will have. Knowledge overcomes fear. As an example of how fear develops in the genes, when you no longer became comfortable with just leaving the body when you were finished with it, to go on to another experience, you invented death. You had become so attached to the body, and so many of you still believe you are the body. Upon death you will not leave the body. The numerous times that you have gone through the death experience, you now fear being buried alive or burned alive. It is the continual fear experience that embeds that fear is a part of your genetic makeup. Fear is the biggest industry on your planet by far. Take religion. All of the religions of the world are based on fear. You say, no, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, or whoever loves me. You believe that because you fear not being loved. You fear your unworthiness. And even if no one else will find you worthy of loving, this deity loves you. You can even let yourself love yourself. You know all of your, what you call, good and bad points, and you do not feel worthy of even loving yourself. Even your nirvana, heaven and paradise are imagined as an afterlife where you are with your deity and need do nothing. This again is based on the fear that if you were to be doing something, you would once again fall into sin and be thrown out. You know your strong belief in, what you call, your shortcomings. Even those that are longing to go out into the universe or to a new planet or whatever, have the idea that then they won't have to do anything, that the universe will take care of them. They fear allowing themselves to be the creators they are. If you can learn how to create what you want here, how are you ever going to be able to create somewhere else where you have no body to create with? Remember, it is the magic of the body that even allows the idea of physical reality to seem real to you. All governments are based on fear. You fear that you are unable to govern yourselves. You feel that you need armies, navies and air forces to protect you from outside aggressors. You need all kinds of security systems to protect you from real or imagined fears. People say they want freedom. They don't. They want security. They want someone to tell them that everything is going to be all right. You allow all sorts of restrictions to be placed upon you in the name of safety and security. Law also is based on fear. You fear that someone will harm you or take advantage of your weaknesses, and you want revenge if they do. You call this justice. Your medical profession is based on the fear that the body is working against you and you need someone else to help keep it under control. Your foodstuffs are feared for what they can bring about if you eat the wrong things or too much of some things. You put seat belts in your cars and buy helmets and knee pads and elbow pads for fear that you might get a bump or scrape. Many people use the idea of having a guardian angel to offset their fears. You can create your own guardian angel if that works for you. One way to have a guardian angel is to take a part of your energy and set it aside. For example, create an energy ball. This is a practice that was very popular in your psychic community some years back. Then set that energy ball out in front of you so that you can feel the difference. Then give that energy the assignment of being your guardian angel and work beside you. This energy construct is there to give you comfort. In this way, you can become independent of others because you're secure in your own being. Because this is all you. Yet, there are those that feel and fear by skydiving, running rapids, or climbing mountains. These people recognize the role fear plays in their lives and feel the need to meet it head on. So they take their fear and use it to give themselves a rush by challenging it. There are heads of governments that foster their own fear on their citizenry, like the governments whose people are starving, yet they will not allow them to eat food that they feel is unsafe. You had one world leader that had a clear view of this thing called fear and its impact on people. He tried to put fear in its place by pronouncing that there is nothing to fear but fear itself. But that grand attempt has been thwarted by other leaders that believe that everything is to be feared, because there is so much evil in the world. When you listen to those who perpetuate fear, you soon begin to believe the world will end. Man will destroy humanity. The universe will die, and on and on. Now your fear really takes over and you grasp at any straw you can find to save you. You forget that your only protection comes from you, not others. In watching the test pilots testing the new aircraft that are being developed, and people in high-risk occupations, they always have a fear within those occupations. The fear of what they're doing, testing a new aircraft or climbing a mountain, whatever. That fear is used to their advantage to help keep them in a high state of alertness. It is not a cowering kind of fear. It allows the body its own validity and viability. That is how they can be so precise in what they do. This is called creative tension. The body is allowed to perform and do its thing without the interference of what-if thinking. The minute the activity starts, that fear is gone. The attention is now where it needs to be focused, in the very present moment. Fear works as a catalyst to begin the process. Once the process is begun, it becomes exhilaration, and that is what works for all of these types of occupations. That also works for you in your everyday life. If you look at a situation, you get up in the morning and you have to go to work, and you have this tremendous job ahead of you on that particular day, and you go with the anticipation, oh, I wonder if I am going to be able to get that done. If I don't, the boss is going to be very upset. Then you push yourself into that mode of wondering if you can do the job, and you getting all your emotions set up. The minute you sit down at the desk to do the job, that emotional anxiety is gone. You sharpen your focus and put it where it should be. If you were to do that in your everyday life, that would be a great way to live. Because if you put your focus in your present moment, your observations would be so clear that your belief system would immediately kick in, and you would make your decision, and that would be it. You would then go on to your next cue for your play. What about change? Change is another basis for fear. All human conflict relates to change. Some worry that change will take place. Others worry that it will not. Wars are fought to resist change or to accelerate it. At the individual level, this translates into various forms of indecision. Fear enters into the pattern. Fear of the consequences of any decision or indecision. The pressure builds up, intensifies as the decision is put off. The result accumulates toxins in all parts of your bodily system until there is overload. In any decision, there is a 50% probability that the decision will work out. If the opposite selection is made, it should become evident. If you are paying attention, you can correct or adjust it. Here we get back to the observer. There is only a slight chance that an unfavorable direction may result. Make a decision to change it. Don't linger in that particular reality. Just remember that any action or decision is better than none at all. To anticipate danger takes you out of today, and once again you're working with secondary experiences that confuses the body. Depression. One of the biggest things that we hear of now is depression. Of all the things that they talk about, and all the diseases and all these other things, what is the big, uppermost thing on the planet at the present time? Depression. There are many ways of working with depression, and people can give you all kinds of advice. You need to learn to work with yourself. Use your imagination. If you want to play games, and this is the easiest way for you to do it, make this a game of pretend. Imagine you are happy. Imagine that everything is fine. Start looking for something exciting, looking for something new. Imagine that you are happy and finding it. Then when you have a day that is happy, absolutely happy, then you will say, this is what it feels like. Okay, body, remember this one. I want this one again and again and again and again. You need to imagine you are happy first, until the body gets the feeling. You have to teach the body in many areas. The body has its own intelligence. You have multiple personalities that you work with. When you get to recognize your different personalities that come in, and this takes attention, recognize the personality that comes to the forefront and decide if that is the way you want to act or not. If this personality comes in and you start feeling depressed, tell yourself that this personality is not desired. I would like to experience another personality. Here's the trick. Sit and wait until you can feel another personality come in. As you become proficient at it, you can actually feel the body react to a new personality, guaranteed. Guaranteed, because others have done it upon your planet. Then it becomes a game. It becomes a game of fascination. When you have a personality that comes in, that is one that has contentment. Then work from there. It does not do to work from a personality of depression, because you can move. You can do anything with a personality that expresses depression. Take that personality that exhibits depression and get it out of the way and bring in another personality so that you are able to do something. Imagine everything is fine and that will come to the forefront. When you build up the emotion of sadness to a critical point, you have a personality that will always bring in tears. You have a personality that will bring in laughter. You have a personality that will bring in all manner of different emotional constructs within your physical being. So be selective. We talked about creative tension. That is what you're looking for. Creative tension. Creative tension moves you into more creation and more creation and more creation. There is no way to move from one reality to another reality unless your intent and purpose is clear. In being clouded, you can move. You can make any decisions because you're getting your input from your life as it exists at the present moment, and your life as you see it in the background with all its tragedies and everything. Then if that kind of background becomes the model for your everyday existence, you are giving your body mixed signals. You can work from mixed signals. That is why depression. That is why everything in your daily life becomes mixed up. You no longer can discriminate between what your reality is and the reality of the world around you. You can discriminate where your play leaves off and the other plays begin. The greatest teacher you have is you. There is none greater.